So just to let you guys know, this is probably not going to be a short video. It's probably going to be really long, but in the description box, I linked each time for what, so it's easier to find what I'm talking about, if that made any sense at all. But yeah, have fun. Hey you guys, I am back today with a slightly different setting, as you can see. Today I'm going to be doing the whole first year university experience at the University of British Columbia. So I actually typed up a whole document of basically my experience and how I felt. Here we go. UBC. Truly a place of experience, accomplishment, and growth. Only those words meant different things to me from when I first made my steps on campus to now. Before university, I perceived those three words all in terms of academically. I went into university ready for the challenge of getting good grades and striving. To me, experience, accomplishment, and growth all just somehow added up to simply getting good grades. So with that being said, I made grades the foundation to my definition of success. But once I started university, I knew right away that nothing was what I expected it to be. That it wasn't the perfect cookie-cut university experience. I've always been the type of person to believe that everything happens for a reason, and that within every negative lays a positive. For me, I didn't understand how people could drown in a pit of negativity, unable to even see a bit of light. I never fell in that pit, of course, until 8 months ago. So I guess this is the part of the story where I tell you about the flip in my life that shaped me into the person I am today. The turn that gave me a perspective in a moment to appreciate how lucky I am to always find the bright side. I'm a person much of change. I love the adrenaline rush that comes with trying something new, and I most definitely crave adventure. Most of which made up my mind of choosing to come to UBC. For someone who was going to be over 4,000 kilometers away from home, I was nothing but excited and fueled with the power of change and growth. You could say that I was used to getting my ways back in high school. I had my family, a good social life, high academics, and participated in things all around. But then September hit, and all of a sudden, things were almost too different for me to grasp. I came to call the city my home, despite it feeling more than foreign. I knew nobody, and though my dad warned me of being homesick, I never truly knew the impact an 8-lettered word could possibly hold. And it was within a matter of time that my dad waved goodbye to me at Vancouver International Airport, leaving me with a heavy heart pounding, both of excitement and fear. Yvonne, choose what you love and love what you choose, but one more step to being successful. Never give up, and you will get it. Give up, and you will never get it. Get it? I love you forever. Those are the last words my dad left me with, and then and now the very words holding me together. My first few days on campus already left me wondering if I was even meant for UBC or a university altogether. And the first few weeks were even more tough as I would watch friends hanging out, laughing, and enjoying the beautiful weather together, only to admire them through my window. I should probably also mention that I came to UBC not really knowing anyone. None of my friends nor anyone from my graduating class came to UBC, so I was really on my own, in a new province having a fresh start. Despite having calls here and there with my friends from back home, but they're carrying lines of, "I'm only one call away," still couldn't replace an empty seat. It honestly only took a week for me to call my dad crying, begging him to let me come home. But he reminded me that I was the one that chose UBC. He reminded me that the girl who accepted to UBC was the one who was ready for a challenge and ready to explore and take on the world by herself. Keeping that in mind, I pushed through. But for once in my life, I felt like maybe change wasn't all that good. I felt like I lost my family, friends, home, and most importantly, I felt like I lost myself. I guess the saying, "you'll never truly understand something until it happens to you," really came to play. People warned me of how hard the transition would be into university, but I guess I never believed them because I felt like I was up for it. Every day would feel like a battle with myself. The saddest part was that I got close to all my floor mates because of the amount of mental breakdowns I had. Those first 4 months of university felt like a roller coaster of emotions. It was also the first time that I was fighting to find my positivity. What I once thought was so easy to do suddenly used up all my energy. I was content with my life, don't get me wrong, but I was also more than strained by why my life felt so on edge. It was like the world was going against me. I was lucky though, because I had my floor mates to keep me on my feet. Most days it would feel like I couldn't do things, mentally and physically, but they never once left me there to fend life alone. Each one of their shining personalities brought out a beam of light, the light that shined on me, pushing me to keep going. I owe to them for motivating me with the iconic 4 words, "I believe in you," and believing in me even when I couldn't myself. They would literally stay up with me, let me work in their room while they slept, make a chant for me.
I believe. I believe. I believe that. I believe that. I believe that Yvonne can do it. 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 I believe that Yvonne can do it.
or even simply just helping me calm down. I'd procrastinate, waste my time, and not take things seriously until the very last minute when I was paralyzed to work. I recall those sleepless nights when I would drink several yerba mates, waiting for my brain to function, while it just lied as dead as my fingers to the keyboard. I wasn't able to get anything out no matter how hard I tried. And most days, I felt like I seriously just couldn't do this whole university lifestyle. Okay, so little story time, a little off topic, but I just want to use being genuine as the foundation to telling my stories and to my channel. Here's a story from my first semester. This was probably one of the most extreme highlights from my first semester, and obviously first semester was hard for me and I dropped down from 5 to 4 courses. So basically I had this final paper worth 40% of my overall grade for that class for sociology, and I knew about this paper months ahead, and I procrastinated until the very last minute when I was literally just paralyzed to work, and I just couldn't do it. It just felt like my mind just completely shut down. It was less than 24 hours before it was due, and even then the stress just wouldn't kick my start. I had several mental breakdowns, and I talked to so many people, and they finally all advised me just to go talk to my professor, because at that point there was honestly nothing for me to lose. So I went to class and I sat through the hour and I watched over 200 other students hand in their 40% paper that I didn't do, and I just sat there and I remember thinking to myself that, you know what, it doesn't even matter. I literally just couldn't do it. I was gonna take the L, and it's fine. So after class, I went down and I talked to the professor, and I told him about my mental state and how I was feeling and how I felt like I just literally couldn't write the paper. And to my surprise, he said he was proud of me for, one, making it this far in university and realizing that it is a challenge, it is difficult, and two, for coming up and actually talking to him. And suddenly, everything that I felt like I was ashamed of, he made me feel proud of. And he ended up giving me extension for the paper, and he just told me to go home, to take a rest, to watch Netflix. I don't know if I just got lucky, but I'm telling you guys this story because I want you guys to remember that no matter how many people define others by a certain title or occupation, at the end of the day, they're still human too. They still have their bad days, they get it. And I want you guys to know that this applies for anything in life. It does not hurt to try. This line probably saved me from failing that course that day. Okay, that's it. So back to the main story. First semester left me with thoughts in my head that maybe university just really wasn't for me. But I also knew to myself that that was just an excuse for me displacing my problems. From being a top student to just praying for pass, I knew that I couldn't continue on with this lifestyle. Looking back at those months, I can still remember exactly what every moment felt like, because that time frame robbed me of my positivity, and I almost lost all of it. Flash forward to the end of first semester, after some miracle I somehow managed to pass all 4 courses, and that's when I promised myself to use my challenges against me to motivate me to work even harder. So with the support of my family and friends, I managed to crank back my mindset. I told myself that I couldn't let some bumps on the road stop me from achieving, working hard, and growing. After all, nobody said that change was easy. Change is supposed to be hard because that's the only way we get to learn firsthand how to grow and discover ourselves. Second term rolled around and I was back again with my positive outlook. With just as many negative things being tossed my way, I learned that it's all about perspective. You don't have to be upset about certain things because it may seem like you should. I made second term all about me, and I built back an even stronger wall of positivity by cutting out all the negative aspects of my life and focusing on what I love. And that's when I started my YouTube channel. However, everything in life comes with a consequence, and because I was so caught up in doing what I loved outside of school, I managed to hit another milestone of bad news. I basically missed the deadline to apply for the film production program. When I first realized that, I felt like it was a throwback to my first semester when the world was just playing against me, and I was disappointed in myself for missing the deadline. But I was even more disappointed that I almost let myself fall back because of another setback. This time around was different. I sure as hell was not going to let this missed deadline drag me back into feeling like I wasn't good enough. That's when I realized that maybe the world put me through everything it did to prepare me for this exact moment. To make me realize that life is not always going to go our way, but we shouldn't let bumps on the road stop us from seeing the view. I mourned this loss for about 48 hours before realizing that it's time to move on. That I'm not going to let some setbacks swallow me with my pride. Instead, I learned to use these setbacks as an inspiration to work harder, to persevere, and ultimately become a better version of myself. I learned that the world is not black and white, and neither is negativity and positivity. It's a mixture. But the right balance of the two, you'll never fail to see how negativity plays a huge role in inspiring one's own search for positivity. After all, stars don't shine without darkness. So ultimately, these 8 months and my first year at university have been filled with pain, with heartbreak, with challenge, with procrastination, and a whole bunch of tears. But it has also been an ocean of happiness, excitement, smiles, laughs, and most importantly, growth. From a shy and studious girl that walked into UBC, I walked out of first year as an outgoing and hardworking girl that was ripped to her bare bones, only to learn that skin heals thicker, and that it's okay to get hurt because that's how you grow. And so, as my first year wraps up, UBC has taught me in very hard ways, but ways that I would not regret having, that university is more than just about academics and school life, but it is also about connections, socializing, development, and honestly just the best path to discovering yourself. Okay, so now that's done, I just want to go through some tips for people that are going into university. 1, remember that failure is okay because it gives you a great chance for improvement. Just laugh about how you could have possibly did so bad, and just remember that there's no downhill from failing, so just keep working harder and trying. I'm going to be honest too, my marks aren't where I want them to be. I've gotten marks under 50, but those are the ones that have pushed me to work harder. 2, remember that you're loved and cared for. If you're ever in a situation where you feel stuck, just remember that there's nothing in the world that cannot be done if you go find help for it. 3, remember that the most growth happens in the most difficult times, so embrace the situation. Never stop picking out the light from the darkness. And 4, my ultimate favorite, never forget that the most important competition in life is not with anybody else but yourself. Just take a moment right now to think of how far you've come despite your age or where you stand. Be happy that you are alive and capable of doing whatever you set your mind or heart to. Never fail to challenge yourself and do what you love, and remember that with every step, never forget to believe in yourself because that is the one certainty that you are in control of. People can say one thing, but as long as you know who you are and what your intentions are, it doesn't matter. I am beyond grateful for every single person that I've met this year because each person has brought light a little piece of myself that I didn't know existed. To Amy, to George, to Evan, to Josh, to Sam, Maria, and Zach. Thank you guys for being the first few people that I met here in Vancouver and then giving me plenty of reasons to stay. And to everyone else that I've met and are close to, you know who you are. I tell you guys how much I love and appreciate you every single time I see you. Thank you guys so much because you have made my life 10 million times better, and I love you guys for that. So lastly, I'd like to address how thankful I am for everything that's happened. You know, 8 months ago, YouTube was just a dream for me to start. But 3 months ago, I felt like I was finally in the right headspace to start. Because 1, I finally had the confidence in myself and truly believed the saying, believe in yourself. 2, I finally let go of worrying about what other people would think because I realized that it only matters what I think of myself. And 3, I finally felt like I had the support I needed. Every single person I've met here gave me nothing but a sense of security and support, and they made me realize that it does not hurt to try, and I should. So thank you guys. I love you. As if you don't hear it enough already. So legit the end, to wrap it up. This may sound silly, but I feel like I truly understand that I only have one life to live and I want to live it to the very fullest. You know, I want to try, I want to adventure, I want to fail, I want to learn, and I want to grow from it. I want to share my life in the most honest and genuine way because I feel like that's how I connect with people the best. So I'm not going to hide my highs and lows of life. I'm going to tell you guys all of that because that makes me who I am. And so here's the beginning of me sharing my life and my story with you guys. So thank you guys for watching that. That was my first year experience at the University of British Columbia, and I hope that helped any of you wondering what it's like. But honestly, my story just may be really dramatic. I don't know. Feel free that if you ever need someone to talk to, I'm always here and happy to talk. Okay, that's it. I'm gonna shut up.